Hello, everyone! I'm excited to be back with you for another thought provoking discussion. As you know, our mission here is to make complex financial and personal development concepts easily digestible. Today, we're diving into the wisdom encapsulated in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a by Mark Manson. If you're new here, welcome aboard our quest for knowledge. This is Financial Intellect, where we promote that to be finance savvy, we are your buddy. The mirage of a problem-free life. Picture this. You're leisurely scrolling through your social media feed, each swipe revealing yet another glossy image of perceived perfection. Gleaming smiles, laughter, exotic vacation shots, gourmet meals. It's a virtual utopia of ceaseless happiness and seemingly problem-free lives. This is the narrative that's skillfully curated and presented to us like a mirage of perfection that we're constantly chasing. Isn't that what we're led to believe life should look like? However, Mark Manson, with his unapologetically blunt and unique style, doesn't just poke holes in this fancy illusion. He utterly annihilates it. In Manson's view, a life devoid of problems isn't an attainable paradise, it's an implausible fantasy. Problems, he argues, are an inescapable part of our human existence, intricately woven into the fabric of our lives. They're not looming monsters that we slay never to see again. Instead, they are shapeshifters that merely morph into different forms. Solving one issue doesn't mean you've arrived at a blissful, trouble-free state. On the contrary, it just clears the path for the next challenge, the next problem to overcome. But this isn't a rebellious view, an invitation to wallow in life's hardships. Instead, it's an inspiring call to comprehend and accept the dynamic, ever-evolving nature of life. It's about understanding that problems are not roadblocks, but stepping stones leading us toward growth and self-improvement. Imagine solving a complex puzzle. The satisfaction that washes over you isn't just from the solution itself, but also from the process, the trial and error, and the struggle that led to it. Responsibility, an empowering concept. To truly comprehend and implement Manson's philosophy of the subtle art of not giving a we must begin by retiring our oft-used deck of blame game cards. It's incredibly alluring, isn't it, to assign blame elsewhere? To point fingers at others for the predicaments we find ourselves in, perhaps hoping that it will somehow absolve us of any responsibility. Yet this instinctive reflex to cast blame is counterproductive. It only amplifies our frustration, fuels our resentment, and diverts our focus from finding tangible solutions to merely stewing in the problem. Responsibility, as it turns out, is the linchpin in Manson's ideology, the central pillar holding up this subtle art. And understanding this is crucial. Manson presents an intriguing scenario to help us grasp this concept. If you woke up one morning to discover a baby had been mysteriously left on your doorstep, it certainly wouldn't be your fault. You didn't ask for this, you didn't cause this. And yet, from that unexpected moment forward, the responsibility for this baby's well-being relentlessly falls to you. This vivid metaphor is more than just a thought experiment. It's a potent illustration of life's unpredictability and our role within it. Just as you did not invite the arrival of the hypothetical baby, we often find ourselves in situations or facing problems that are not of our making. However, the key to navigating these challenges lies not in identifying whose fault, but in accepting the mantle of responsibility. Shifting from blame to responsibility. Our reactions to the various problems that life throws at us, in many ways, serve as a mirror reflecting our character, our mindset, and our resilience. By willingly assuming responsibility for our problems, we're effectively seizing control of our life's narrative, steering it towards resolution and growth, rather than letting it spiral into a blame-filled pit of despair. Imagine for a moment you wake up one day to find that your car has been stolen. An undoubtedly infuriating and distressing situation. Your immediate reaction, however, whether it veers towards volcanic rage or steadying calm, is entirely within your hands. You can either let your emotions flood the gates, fueling your anger, or you could choose a path of measured response, focusing on the steps you need to take to manage the situation. Manson's philosophy doesn't ask you to ignore the gravity of the problem or suppress the natural human response to difficulty. Instead, it advocates for a shift in perspective, a recalibration of focus. It's not about turning a blind eye to the fact that your car has been stolen or denying the inconvenience it causes. It's about recognizing that while the situation is unfortunate, your reaction to it is something you can control. Think of it as wielding the power of choice in an otherwise uncontrollable situation. The car is already gone, and you can't rewind time to prevent the theft. What you can do, however, is manage your response to the robbery. This could mean contacting the police, reaching out to your insurance company, or arranging for alternative transportation. Instead of allowing your emotion to take the driver's seat, you become the driver, focusing on practical, constructive responses. Embracing pain, the litmus test for values. Manson propounds a view that is both intriguing and unorthodox, urging us to embrace our problems and the accompanying discomfort they inevitably inflict. He advocates seeing the beauty in the struggle, the lessons in the hardship, and the progress in the pain. The perspective he presents is a potent one, arguing that our successes, far from being determined by our aptitudes or advantages, are gauged by our response to this thought-provoking question. What amount of pain am I willing to endure? This is more than just a question. It's an invitation for deep introspection, a call to self-examination that provokes us to decipher our core values, understand our motivations, and clarify our ambitions. It prompts us to reflect on what we're genuinely willing to sacrifice, what hurdles we're prepared to leap over, and what mountains we're ready to climb for the sake of achieving our goals. The pain that we willingly withstand and the troubles we decide to face head-on serve as clear indicators of what genuinely matters to us. For instance, an athlete may be willing to endure the daily grind of grueling training sessions, sacrificing leisure time and social engagements, all for the triumph of standing on the podium. A med student may accept the pain of sleepless nights spent studying and the stress of intense exams to fulfill their dream of saving lives. Manson argues that this willingness to face pain, to embrace the struggle, can lead to a more fulfilling life. It's about understanding that the path to any worthwhile goal is paved with challenges and discomfort. It's about recognizing that these problems aren't barriers to our happiness, but are, in fact, the process through which we achieve it. Meaningful values, a compass for life. Manson's philosophy pushes us to take a step back and reevaluate what it is that we're fighting for. It's about identifying what matters most to us, recognizing those values that we hold dear and are willing to suffer for. The essence of meaningful suffering, according to him, lies in pinpointing and steadfastly upholding the values that are truly worth the fight. When we encounter pain or discomfort in our lives, it's not a random occurrence. It's a signal that something we deeply value is being challenged or violated. For instance, seeing a loved one struggling could cause us deep distress because we value their well-being and happiness. Conversely, if a colleague's promotion triggers feelings of envy or frustration, it might be an indication that we hold our professional success in high esteem. The presence of these emotional responses prompts us to question our wants and desires and to reflect upon our expectations from life. What are we willing to fight for? And more importantly, what kind of pain is worth enduring for us? Are we ready to put in long hours at work to climb the corporate ladder? Can we bear the hardship of rigorous training to compete in a marathon? This introspective journey is essentially an opportunity to reevaluate and potentially redefine our values. It invites us to scrutinize our priorities and, in the process, brings clarity about what is genuinely worth our time and effort. However, the key lies not only in recognizing these values, but also in being prepared to defend them against any odds. It might mean making tough choices, stepping out of our comfort zones, or even facing criticism. But ultimately, it's these battles, fought for our core values, that lead to a life that is meaningful and satisfying. In the grand scheme of things, everyone has problems. We can't escape them, but we can learn to navigate them more effectively. According to Manson, we need to stop caring about having problems at all and focus on what problems we are willing to solve. It's about choosing the battles worth fighting and the values worth upholding. In The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Manson's core message is one of empowerment and personal growth. It's a fascinating read that challenges conventional wisdom and is sure to leave you contemplating long after you put the book down. I encourage all of you to check out the book for a deeper dive into this potent perspective. If this video was helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. As always, thank you for joining us today, and let's continue our journey toward financial intellect and personal growth. Stay productive, everyone!